Right, so this is the real race
X210 Quad, which has got a Maytag power distribution board. As you can see, the board below where the battery connector is soldered to is the power distribution board, and then we have got the F3 flight controller, which is on top of it, and then I have got the Spectrum DSMX satellite receiver, and then we have got like the antennas here. It runs Bell Heli 30 amp ESCs, and it took me around 5 hours to build it from scratch. As you can see, I have shortened the signal wire to the ESC so that it doesn't make a mess inside the power controller or the flight controller compartment, and it's a very steady quadcopter. I did have a couple of test flights with it. I did feel some glitch from the power system, whether it could be the ESCs or some signal glitches. It's difficult to say. I need to try it a bit more out, and also I need to put some silicone glue on the wirings to secure them in place, because I feel the signal cables from the Spectrum DSMX to the connection to the flight controller could be suboptimal. So that has to be secured better in place, and if once I have done that and if I still have the glitches, then I need to do some diagnostics on that. Maybe I need to upgrade the BL Heli firmware. I did try to do that yesterday. Unfortunately I couldn't get the computer work with that firmware. Maybe it's the drivers, or maybe I have done something wrong, because that was the first time I tried to do it. I have not, as you can see, mounted any camera on it because I haven't got one at hand at the moment. But once I get that, I will do that as well. But this quad, for the price and all the stuff that comes with, the only thing that I have to put separately is the receiver and my own radio, and of course the battery. Other than that, I would say it's a very well built quad. It has quite a lot of power. Of course, I did not try the full potential of it, but it looks like it's going to be a very good quadcopter that I might have. I might use for racing and etc. So this is something that I would definitely recommend if you are considering to start out with your own quadcopter, where you actually learn to build it, program it, and have it as your first quad. And it's not that cost-wise it's not that expensive, because you've got the whole set with ESCs, the motors, the propellers, the flight controller, the power distribution board, and the frame. And in this case I have bought the 4-inch quadcopter frame, which is going to be quite difficult to break. I watched YouTube. There's a guy who has built the same quadcopter, and he also comments the same that. And actually, I purchased this frame based on his recommendation. So it looks like, for the price, the quality is very good. The only thing that you need to know how to, of course, I didn't know how to, because this is my first ever build from scratch. I do have a Vendetta that I bought from TBS, the Team Black Sheep item. This one, it was a ready-made one, so I didn't have to do any much building work on it, except I mounted the GPS on it now. I did it yesterday, and this is going to help me to see the home direction. That's the only purpose of it, because the quad is so tiny that when it moves quite far away from me, I'm unable to see whether it's going towards me or from me. So for that purpose, I bought this GPS, which I'm going to be able to monitor the direction of the quad in case I lose control of it, and because I could be able to watch the home direction, number one, and the altitude and the speed. And of course I have the OSD with the built-in the Core Pro, which also updates me on the remaining power of the battery. So this is just a safety measure, just simple safety measure. And in the future, if I want, I can do some long distance flight with it, because I saw one guy has the same system and he's able to fly quite far and recording fantastic videos with it. So that's also in the horizon for me, but at the moment it is just for the safety. So compared to this one, it's a huge leap for me as a first-time quadcopter builder. So I learned quite a lot about the whole mechanism of how these things, how the quadcopter works. I did some I did watch some nice videos on YouTube where people are explaining from scratch, from A to Z, how it is working, from your transmitter to your final flying of your quadcopter. So yeah, so it's important to understand the very basics of flight controller, the receiver, the different type of signals through different type of receivers based on what type of remote control of the transmitter you have. In my case, I have got a Spectrum DX9, so I tend to use, I have no other options than to use this satellite receiver, as you can see here. But basically, there are quite a few different ways, or they call S-bus, serial signal, PPM, etc. I haven't actually dig too much into that. The only thing is that I know is that I have to connect this receiver properly. It runs on 3.3 volt. The other ones, mostly the other ones are running on 5 volt. So that could be a tiny limitation, because most of the flight boards, they are by default supplying 5 volt for the receivers. But this I have to, you have to read the instruction manual to find out exactly where you can get this 3.3 volt from. And soldering also could be, you have to have some kind of training. I basically kind of destroyed a couple of flight controllers in my attempt to solder things on. It's very difficult. You need to have some training of it. Once you have got the grab of it, then it's going to be a piece of cake. As you can see, I had to solder these pins onto the motherboard, but I managed it quite well, and I don't have any issues with it. And the only important thing that you need to be watchful is the fact that you shouldn't be having the temperature that high. When you do solder working on the motherboard, on the flight controller with these pins, because there are so tiny distances between different components, you need to be watchful of the temperature that you are using to solder these pins or other connectors to the flight controller, because you could easily burn the components nearby. And also the amount of soldering tin that you use, it should be very careful, because otherwise you would end up doing a short connection.